All right, so because the zones that we analyze, okay, price actually get to those zones, and then we see a reversal. All right, so we want to be doing this, and then I've got really big plans for this Sunday session. So guys, don't take it because it's free. It's very valuable, guys. All right, so if you have any questions, maybe the last trading week, this is an avenue for you to ask your questions and then get some clarifications. If you have questions about trading strategy or just general questions about the foreign exchange market, this is an avenue for us in our community to get free solutions. All right, so we should be here in 1 hour, 30 minutes max. We are done. All right, so if you have any pair that you want us to analyze, just type those pair in the chat box, and then I'm going to analyze those pair for you. So I'll just start from Euro USD, the most popular currency pair, and then we analyze exactly what is going on in the market. All right, gold. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so we have gold, we have GBP USD. All right, so let me just start with you guys. So let's start with gold from left to plug. All right. I like to do this a lot. I like to start my analysis from the weekly. If you notice, I think this is what we talked about last Sunday. Okay, and then we're expecting price to get to this point. But let's start from monthly. I like to analyze from monthly so that we'll just have a proper understanding of what price is doing. And then because we also want to trade with the trend of the market. We want to trade where there's strength in the market. So when you look at gold, this is gold on the monthly chart, right? Now, why are we taking a trade from the monthly again? To know the market direction, the overall direction of the strength of the market. Now, looking at gold on monthly, we see that gold is on an uptrend, right? So that's what monthly is. So we are not really looking for like a setup on monthly. We're just trying to get a sense of direction of the market. So gold is on an uptrend, all right? So let's go to the weekly, and then we also dissect what's going on the weekly, all right? So on the weekly, we can start drawing out our zones, all right? So when you go on weekly, so let me highlight this zone real quick. Somebody, Mr. Fees. Okay. Hopefully we can check out all of these pairs that you are posting. All right. So this is the trend on weekly. All right. Just doing everything, and then price is here. Now that's an uptrend right there on weekly, and then this is the demand zone here. So you see that on the weekly chart, price is in a demand zone. And then what do we know about demand zones? Demand zones, we buy at demand zones, right? So if this low should hold, where is it? This low here. You can see that price is not breaking this low. Now, if this low should hold, or if this demand zone should hold, this demand zone, if it should hold, and then price is going up from here, you should expect price to get to this place, okay, this zone, or to form a new high. All right, so if we see a valid setup in this place now, and then it triggers, and we don't see a break of all of these lows, then we should see price take off from here and form a new high. And then remember that we are trading in the direction of the trend. Monthly is already telling us that price is in an uptrend. All right, good. So let me delete all of that real quick, and then we'll go continue. All right. So price is in the demand zone on the monthly, on the weekly. So let's go to the daily chart so that we'll try and see a possible entry in the market. So this right here is a daily chart. And then on the daily charts, what do we see? What is the market structure of daily charts into that trend? Into that demand zone rather. So you can see it, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. And then you can see this impulse, correction, impulse. All right, good. So we can see that on the daily chart right now, we can see that there has been some sort of a trend violation here. Okay, so we saw this break of structure on the daily. You can see this break here, and then we saw this retest here. All right, and then price is going on. So two things that we can wait for very easily based on what they're saying us right now. So let me make this bigger. So this is daily chart right now. We already confirmed that price is in an uptrend, guys. All right. So and then we can confirm this trend on daily. Impulse, correction, impulse. All right. And then this right here is a demand zone on the daily chart over here. Okay, so this was August 22nd. All right, so price hit this place August 22nd. All right, so that means we have a reaction somewhere around here. So let's go to a lower time frame. So we are expecting a reaction here now. Since this is a demand zone, we already found a break of structure. Price already let us know that the retracement on this daily has been violated. So the strength is with the buyers now, is the demand. So let's go to lower time frame, like 4 hours. We are working our way down based on what price is telling us. Okay, you can see what I'm talking about on 4 hours is a bit clearer. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. Now you can see how all of this lower high was violated. Okay, this was violated. This was violated as well. All right, so and then we saw a break of all of these structures. We saw a break of all structures. Now we're expecting price to retrace into this zone. Now, if we refine this zone to the 4 hours, you can see this is the last sell to buy candle. Right? So over here now, when you refine it over here, we are expecting price to get into the zone on the 4 hours. So let me do that real quick. Give me a second. So remember, on the weekly, we are in a demand zone on the weekly. And in a demand zone, we are expecting a buy. Now, we are on the time frame now. We are on a 4-hour time frame. And on a 4-hour time frame, what we are looking for is, since we are on a weekly demand, and demand means buy. So when we worked our way down to a lower time frame, we should also look for a buy opportunity. Now on the 4 hours, we are trying to spot a buy opportunity. All right. And the first point of execution is to find out that, okay, is the downtrend, is there weakness already? Now we found weakness because we found this break of structure over here. Let me delete this. Now this is the setup that you can wait for. Impulse, correction. Okay, we are seeing all of this. All right. So now the next possible entry in this demand zone is to wait for price to enter this zone here. So that is between 1723 and 1710. So if you are someone that is, you are a risky trader or you are an aggressive trader, you can just, when price gets into this point, into this place, this proximal line, you can just take entry. You can put your stop loss a bit above below this zone, and then you can take profit at this high here, or you take profit, you hold it if you want to swing it. Now, if you are swinging it, let's go to the weekly chart. To the weekly chart, and then where should you exit ideally? Okay, so price you create. So you can exit anywhere, maybe at this liquidity point, all of these points, this point, this point, or this point. Or if you're a very, very patient trader, you can just hold it, okay, until price creates a higher high. But don't forget to take partials or move solos to break even as price goes your way. All right, so that is how I'm going to trade gold, laugh. All right, so I'm going to wait for price to enter this zone. So if you're a risky trader, you take entry like this, or when price gets into this zone, you go to a lower time frame and look for entry confirmations. Now, those entry confirmations can be found if you are in the Premium Academy. We have a course where we show you how to trade smart money concept. So you learn exactly how you should enter those zones. Okay. Oh, awesome. You have the same chart. Nice. Nice. Good. So let's check out the next pair. So what you can do is just set your alert here for people looking to trade gold. Add alert here. When price gets here, notified, and then you take your entry. It's as simple as that. So let's go to the next pair, GBP USD. So as always, I like to start from the monthly chart, GBP USD. So we are on the monthly now. What is price telling us on the monthly? Okay, we are in an obvious downtrend, isn't it? It's quite obvious, right? So that means the US dollar is strong, right? The dollar is very, very strong right now, based on what is happening all around the world. Okay, right now, I think the dollar is even almost the same price as the euro, or even shorter than the euro right now. I'm not exactly sure. So when you go to the weekly, you can see the downtrend in play. All right, this is what I'm talking about. I start from here. Okay, there's a lot of data, and then you can see that a lower low has been formed here. Lower low. All right. So is price going to continue going down, or we see a retracement? So whenever you see price, that's printed this structure. Now this structure of a downtrend, and then this is your breakout structure, isn't it? Whenever price breaks this structure, normally we should expect some form of retracement, okay, to a supply zone to continue the move. So, but we just don't know where this low is going to stop. Okay, so for all we know, price might keep going down or keep going up. But because we're expecting a retracement, the best move so we have to look to lower time frame and check out exactly what price wants to do. So let's go to lower time frame like daily chart to understand what price wants to do. Right. So on the daily charts, what do we have on daily? Okay, it's a clear downtrend as we agree. All right. So let's mark out the trend. Impulse, correction, impulse. We have the dollar structure here. Okay. This is your breakout structure, right? Over here. So price has broken this structure. So we have this now. Impulse, correction, impulse. So now That's what price is telling you to do. So what you can now wait for is, since we have a break, so you wait for price to break this zone here. So this is now your breakout structure based on daily over here. So you wait for price to break this zone. The price to break this zone over here. And then if that is done, this is your buy to sell candle here. Okay, so once you see that break, you wait for the retracement into this zone. So on this zone now, you now go to your lower time frame, like your 30 minutes or 15 minutes, and then you look for entry. It's as simple as that. Or if you are someone that is if you're a risk trader, you can just take a short position from here. But that's a risky trade anyways. So depends on you. You can take it from here or take it from the equilibrium of that supply zone. That's 50%. Let your stop loss be above a bit, or just use a discretion for your stop loss because of liquidity grounds. And then, like I always tell you guys, minimum risk to reward that you want to be having is 1 to 3. So it's either you use a static 1 to 3, or you use a Fibonacci, or you use supply and demand zones, or points of liquidity. So it depends on you how you want to be taking your take profit. All right. So right now there's nothing yet on this guy. So we have to wait for price to do its thing. So this is the logical expectation of price right now. So wait for price to break this point. You can see this strong candle here. Most likely it will take out this liquidity here to form a low. So when that happens, you wait for the retracement into the supply, you go to a lower time frame, and then you take entry. All right? Is that clear for the person that asked that question? Who has a question? Let me check. That is Timmy B. Is that clear? So let's go to the next pair real quick. UKO USD. That's by Mr. Joseph. Which one is UKO USD? Brent. Oh, crude oil. Interesting. So let's do UKO USD. Mr. Joseph, are you here? Okay, so this is oil. UK oil. Right? So I like to do my own thing from monthly. So I'm going to start from monthly in a second, real quick. So this is what price is giving you on the monthly. So this guy has seen all-time high. Okay, a clear uptrend since oil got to zero. Okay, this one didn't get zero. I think US got to zero. But price has been trending up for a couple of months now, or years. All right. So uptrend, then we are seeing some form of retracement now. Now, if we go to the weekly, it will be a little bit clear. So someone is asking a question. Why do we look for correlative pairs? Correlation is just for additional confirmation, for confidence, just to be extra sure that, okay, you are making the right decision on this particular pair. You know, it's just for confidence purposes. All right, so weekly chart. This is the weekly chart. We are expecting a retracement on Brent. Now, let us mark out the trend. Okay, price has been an uptrend, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, right? So, and then we see this. So, on weekly, nothing yet on weekly. This is the higher low on weekly. So, if we are to sell this guy based on what we have on the weekly, we want to be sure that, okay, the uptrend is no more, is not an uptrend anymore. So you wait for price to break this zone. and then you wait for retracement before you start looking for sales. So on the weekly, nothing yet. I wouldn't. So we go to a daily chart to find better interpretation of price, right? So this is the daily. Hold on. So on daily, what do we have? Someone asked me a question. Okay, Mr. Peter, I'm gonna answer your question later. Okay, so let's make this analysis. So let's check out the trend on daily. We have small moves like this: correction, impulse, correction, right? Impulse, correction. I don't want to call this a correction. Let's just say this. All right. So this right here is the low, higher low that we need to break. Okay. So, and as you can see, price already broke this zone on the daily over here. Okay. That's what is on daily. So right now, before we can see a drop, based on my own experience of the market, the zones that I look out for, there's something that is in the that I'm putting on the Premium Academy this week. When you see zones like this, now there's something called, for people that trade small money concept, there's something called the flip zones, right? So when you look at flip zones, this is a flip zone here. Let me just quickly do this real quick. Now, this is the zone that was flipped here, over here. So in this case, you want to expect price to get into the zone before you start looking for entry. This zone. And then why is this zone also very, very good to enter? Is because this supply zone, we can see how it took out liquidity. It took out these liquidity zones, these highs. All right, so I'll wait for price to enter this zone here. Okay, exactly. That's Mr. Joseph. So because we know that price, based on market structure, I believe price will get into this zone, and then we can sell from here. So can we also, on a lower time frame, look for a buy entry into the zone? All right, so if you go to lower time frame, like 4 hours, can we look for a buy setup? Possibly. Okay, so when I say buy setup, I mean price, how price will enter the zone. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, so let me highlight the market structure on 4 hours so that I'll know if we have a change of trend already. All right, so we already have that trend change on the 4 hours. And then what did you see? You saw a move and then retracement, okay, to grab this demand, and then price moved all the way up. So, and then we have this. Okay, so now we have to spot demand zones, isn't it, to take a buy or sell. So this is the demand zone here. Hold on, it's getting messy. Let me delete everything. Good. So we're trying to look for a buy that we can follow into the zone. All right, that's the end of this trade. Or if you can wait, you can just wait for price to get here and then take entry. So like I always say, if you're a risky trader, when price gets into this zone, this personal line, can just take your entry really quick. sell. Right? So this is a demand zone right here, rally-based rally. All right, so then this is the 4 hours. We have spotted a reaction in this zone. So let's go to a lower time frame, like 15 minutes, and see if there is a possible entry on this guy. Okay, give me a second. Let me align this properly. So on 15 minutes, what do we have on 15 minutes? Okay, let's highlight the trend and then look for a possible entry. You have impulse, correction, impulse. All right. This is the break of structure. So now, if you are to buy this guy, where should you look for entry? I'll look for entry at your string here. All right. So I wait for price to enter the zone. Now, I wouldn't, this is also a demand zone, mind you, this zone here. But I wouldn't use this zone because I don't see it being strong enough. All right. So I wait for price to enter this zone. The price should get into this zone. All right. What I'll do is I'll load it. I'll take a long buy position. Hold on. Take a buy position here. Put my stop loss over here. And then I'm buying it into that 4 hours supply into this space. So you have a potential 1 to 6, 1 to 7 risk to reward. And that can happen this week or next week. Is that okay, Mr. Joseph? All right. So let's check out another pair real quick. I think Mr. Fees posted. So ULJPY, UJ. I posted UJ on the group last week for a 4-hour entry. All right, I made money from UJ from Wednesday to Friday, and I posted a few setups that I entered on Friday in the group. But UJ still has a long way to go anyways. It's not really ripe for the sell yet. All right. Yeah. So let's start on the monthly UJ. What do you have on the monthly? UJ is in a clear uptrend, as you can see. A very, very clear uptrend. Now let's go to the weekly. Now weekly, what is it telling us? Same uptrend. We don't know what to do yet on weekly. So let's go to a daily chart to have more concise information about the market. Good. So daily chart have given us a lot of zones. So let's highlight those zones. So you have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. All right. So what do we have here? These are zones in the market. Higher lows has been broken. This is one higher low that was broken. Another one broken. So when price broke these higher lows, now that's a signal that okay, maybe there's about to be a trend reversal. And then you know our analysis based on monthly. Price has formed a higher high, right? And then when price does stuff like this, we're expecting a retracement. So how do we know if it'll be a retracement? We'll go to lower time frame and look for a trend violation. Okay, so because that's what will inform the question that we need based on that higher time frame analysis. So we are on the daily charts right now, and then daily is already giving us a lot of information. We are seeing a trend break. All right, so when we see something like this, what do we look out for? Okay, we look out for price. So you can see this demand zone was fiercely broken. This demand zone was broken as well. Hold on. Okay, so where should we wait for price to retrace to? Now, this zone, I'll go for the extreme in this case, based on my own experience, where I would expect a reversal. And then that was a zone that so this zone, the extreme supply, the last buy to sell candle. So that's a zone that we highlighted. And then, so this is a zone that we want to start looking for sells now, based on daily. Okay, so now let's highlight this, move these zones real quick. So these zones now, we are looking for sells. Now, if you go to the 4-hour chart, you could refine it if you want to. Okay, buy to sell candle. The next buy to sell candle is this guy right here. So that's a supply zone. Okay. Likewise, we're also seeing this. So price might not get there. On the 4 hours as well, you're also seeing something like this. So because this zone, this move here is still in that, this move here is still in that weekly supply, that buy to sell candle. So, and then on 4 hours, I'm seeing a trend change on 4 hours that, okay, possibly the up move is getting weak. Now check it out. We have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, and then we have an impulse, right? And then what do we see? We saw a break on this higher low here. And then when I say a break like that, so this is the break of the zone. The next possible zone that you can look to take entry will be the extreme over here. This is a buy to sell candle on the 4 hours. So price is in a 4-hour supply. So this zone is still also very, very valid for us to take entry from. All right. So this was a zone that I said I should look for entry. Okay. So all of these setups aligned last week. I took entry on this guy on Friday as well, but price did not do so much. So price is in the extreme supply right now. So what we can do in this zone is to look for an entry on a lower time frame, all right? Because this is a supply zone. So what do we do? Go to a lower time frame, like 15 minutes. So this right here is 15 minutes chart. So on 15 minutes now, we can now start looking for entry if we see an entry setup aligned. So based on what price is giving us right now, we are seeing impulse, correction. We have small internal structure here, and then we saw a higher high formed. So if we see price start going down from here, so you want price to, hold on, let me delete this so it won't get confused. Good. So one price to break this structure area. Right. So once price breaks the zone, then what do? You wait for price to retrace into a supply zone. Right, and then you load it, take your entry. It's as simple as that. So that is UJ for you right there, Mr. Fields. But the setup has not aligned yet. If this setup aligns, trust me, there's something here on 15 minutes that you can get access to. All right. So someone asked me a question. Can you talk and share about market timing and session? I'll be grateful if you share, sir. Okay, well, that is premium information, but I'll just share with you real quick. So, and then I also answer Mr. Peter's question as well. So before we go ahead and analyze setups, let's talk about trading sessions. Okay, these are fundamental concepts that everybody learns when they started trading Forex. Now, can somebody tell me the 4 major sessions that we have? Just type it in the chat box. What are the 4 major trading sessions that we have in the foreign exchange market? Let's go, guys. Type it in the chat box. The 4 major sessions that we have, what are they? Asian session, right? Next one we got. Asian, London. Yeah, Euro is London session. New York session, okay. And which one again? Sydney session, yes. So we have Sydney in right order. You have Sydney, you have Tokyo or Asian session, you have London, and then you have the New York session. Now, all of these sessions are based on currency pairs, and sessions are when those particular currency pairs are mostly active, where you see a lot of pips move on those pairs. So Sydney session is a session where the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are mostly active. And then why are they active? Hold on. So you have the, what's it called? You have the Sydney session. What do you have? You have the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. Now, Sydney, that is when that particular country, they start business operations. And what do they spend in that country, in that zone? They spend the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. So let me just do everything. And then you have the Tokyo session or Asian session. What do you have in this session? You have the JPY, right? JPY is Asian session. So just remind me if I'm missing anything. And then you have the London session. London, what do you have in London? London, you have the GBP. And there we get, and then you have the Euro. Then you have the New York session, Euro, and then the Swiss franc and CHF. Euro, CHF. And then you have the New York session. This is the US dollar. So it should be eight total, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one more pair, one more major pair. Which pair is the next major pair? Canadian dollar, CAD, yes. So USD and CAD in New York session. Good. So all of these pairs, this time zone and pair is based on when in that particular country, when they start business operations. For example, assuming Nigerian Naira is a good currency, we would have maybe the Lagos trading session, but it's not a major currency. All right. So these major currencies now, based on timing, if you are trading a pair, like if you are taking entry on a pair like AUD USD, give me a second. AUD USD. Okay. Now AUD USD is a combination of, based on trading session, it's on Sydney and the New York session. Sydney and New York. So the best times that you can take entry on AUD USD will be either in the Sydney session and the New York session, right? During the London session, you won't really see a lot of good setups or entries during the London session because AUD USD, the Australian dollar, is active in the Sydney, and the USD is mostly active as well in the New York session. All right. If you're trading a pair like GBP USD, right, it's best you look for entries where in the London session and New York session. You don't have a business with Tokyo session and Sydney. All right. So that is what I found out. And then, guys, if you are trading any pair that aligns in the London and New York session or any pair at all, I found out based on my experience and analysis, the first 3 hours of every session is always a good time to look for entries. When, according to your strategy, if you see an entry align within the first 3 hours of any trading session, it's a very, very good entry. Okay, because you will see good movement within the first 3 hours, within the first 3 hours, excuse me, of every trading session, because that is when business starts, and then there's also an overlap of trading sessions. So there's a lot of activity going on in the first 3 hours of every trading session. All right, so that is timing. I hope that answers the questions. So when you see a setup on any currency pair, you want to wait and relax to check if that pair is in its trading session. If it's not in the session, avoid it as much as you can. Is that clear? I think that was asked by Richard. Thanks for doing that for me. Please, in the case where you have multiple demand supply zones after a breakout structure, how do you know which would most likely hold? That will depend on your understanding of trend reversal zones. I cannot really tell you about that now because that is premium information. If you are in the premium mentorship program, we would have our own sessions, and then I can tell you those information. Someone is asking a question. Please let's know what time session. I'm not sure I understand your question though. Please let's know what times. Mr. Emmanuel's iPhone, rephrase your question. How do you know which time session is going on in Cyprus time? Well, I think you need to. If you are on the Telegram group, there is a foundation training on Forex. So it's best to go through the foundation so you learn about those time zones. It's very, very simple. Just Sydney opens business at 8 a.m. What is 8 a.m. Sydney time? So 8 a.m. in Sydney, just convert it to your own time zone in Cyprus. 8 a.m. in Tokyo, just convert it to your own time zone in Cyprus. London, start business, I think 8 a.m. as well. So it's just a time conversion, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so Timmy B, I've also answered your question with that answer. So I didn't get the first 3 hours of the session. You mean Sunday midnight open up session? Yeah, so that would depend if you are trading a pair in the Sydney session. All right. So the link to the Telegram group, I'll just type it here. I'll type it in the chat box now. www.tobiokunoga.com/FWT-Telegram. So the link is in the chat right now. Give me a second. Is that clear? Any more questions? So that's the Telegram community link. Does it mean trades move faster when trading in the currency time session? Yes, something like that. That's what we're talking about. All right. So let's check out another pair. I think somebody was saying something about USD CHF, right? Let's do USD CHF. Is it USD CHF? Mr. Hafiz? USD card and CHF and then Euro USD. Okay, give me a second. Mr. Peter, I didn't answer your question about the correlation. I think correlation. Mr. Peter, are you in the premium mentorship? Because this information, okay, so that means I can't really go deep into some concepts because this is a general class. But correlation is simply there are some pairs. There are some pairs that move together. Pairs like your Euro USD, GBP USD, or let's say pairs like your AED USD, NTD USD, they move together. So if AED USD is buying, most likely NTD USD will also be buying. There are some pairs that move opposite direction. So if a pair is buying, the other pair will be selling. Okay, so and then there's a way to know the correlation. All right. I would like to know what to look for. Well, Mr. Peter, I recommend you to subscribe to the mentorship. That's my honest answer, because there is no way I'll teach you about correlation that I won't give you access to some secrets. Okay, and it's not for free. Someone is asking, for gold, what time session is the best to trade? Obviously, I have to trade it in the New York session. New York and London session is what I recommend for gold. So can you share or give an advice choosing a currency pair a new trader should choose? Start from Euro USD. Start from Euro USD, and then when you're starting out, don't try and trade every currency pair except you are a swing trader. Okay, so stick to 5 to 6 pairs maximum. Okay, start from Euro USD. What about US 30? If you are a beginner, I don't recommend US 30 for beginners because of the volatility of US 30. And US 30 is a different instrument. Is more volatile than every other pair. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's do another pair. Let's do USD CHF real quick. All right. So USD CHF. So what do we have on monthly? What do we have on USD CHF? Does the use of trend line encourage? Well, you can add it as a confluence. Okay, so at the end of the day, like I always tell you guys, your trading strategy, the one that you follow, is the one that resonates with you. You know, most of us learn a particular strategy, and then we add our own mix to it, our own touch to it, to like make it original on our own. So, Mr. Hafiz, I know you are on the mentorship platform, so you know all of this trading system. So if you feel that attaching a trend line to it would really help you take better trades or give you more confidence, why not go for it? All right. So this is USD CHF. All right. Now this is the weekly chart. So monthly charts, what do you have on your CHF? So on monthly, what do we have? So asking a question again. Can we do okay, we'll do GPS next. Who can tell me the direction of USD CHF? It's not very clear, but you can tell me what this guy is doing. It's priced in an uptrend or downtrend. On monthly, just a general overview. What do you think price is doing? Oops. All right. Someone said downtrend, someone said consolidating. All right. Give me a second, guys. Okay. What do we have? Consolidating, uptrend, downtrend is consolidating right now. But overall downtrend. Yes, price is on overall downtrend on USD CHF. So, let's just do it so that we'll see it. On monthly, when you start from here, you can see all these ones. Impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. And then you have this internal structure here, impulse. Okay, so based on monthly chart, based on the market structure on monthly, all right, this is the lower high that needs to be broken for us to know that price is about to shift from a downtrend to an uptrend. All right, so all of this is still very much consolidation, and then price still needs to get to somewhere here. This is the supply zone. So if price gets here, we can see a move to the downside to form a lower low. All right, so to give us something clearer, we'll go to the weekly and then we'll just trade with what's going on the weekly. So on the weekly, what do we have here? So we have this impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. And then what is price doing? We're waiting for price to retrace into the supply. So this will be so that I'll pick the supply. This will find one over here. All right, so price has a long way to go, most likely before we see a drop. So price most likely will come into the supply zone here. When price comes to supply zone, we start looking for sales. All right. So all right, so let's go to the daily chart real quick. So daily is giving us this. So on the daily, we can now refine it. Can refine it into this buy candle here. So you're waiting for price to come up into this zone. When price gets here, look for sales down. So that's what I'll do on UCHF. So that's what I'm waiting for. So if you know that possibly price is still going to come into this zone, can we look for a buy opportunity into the zone? So go to time frame like the 4 hours. So on the 4 hours, what do we see on the 4 hours? All right. Okay, so price already reacted from this candle here. All right, so price already took off actually. So if we see a break of this high, all right, so we wait for the break. of the high, right? And then once that break happens, you wait for price to retrace into the demand zone like this, and then take entry into the zone. So, Mr. Fit, I don't have a setup, honestly, on UCHL right now. So I'll just wait it out to get something perfect. It's not every move that you must catch on every pair. Okay, so this move already happened. So you wait for the next possible move. Exactly. So I don't want to use, now this is also a structure that is playing out, but I think this is a fake out. You can see this move here. This is a fake out. I'll make people lose money. You can see impulse, correction, impulse, kind of. Okay, but there's a lot of wicks here, and then no candle has really broken these zones. And then some people might be tempted to look for sells here. All right, but I really doubt if this zone is going to hold. And then you can see this week, this is a liquidity that was grabbed with a strong demand liquidity, demand supply here. So I think this move here is going to break this high to form new highs. Also take our liquidity from here, potential liquidity to now retrace. Okay, is that clear, Mr. Fitz? All right, so let's check out GBP NZD. GBP NZD. All right, GBP NZD. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so let me delete everything here. We have the monthly. So what's going on the monthly? Same thing. Price is in the supply here. The supply zone is in control. Okay, monthly. So let's go to the weekly. So weekly zone, what do we have on a weekly? Hold on. Okay, good. So I want to mark out the trend. You have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, so what do we have? We have this area of structure here. Okay, and then we have break of the structure. So price came into this area of supply, which is the extreme, and they are currently seeing the move happen. Sorry, I'm trying to interpret what's going on. That's what I'm trying to learn. I see use lines because it just helps me get better clarity of market movement. So based on the move into, so this is the weekly. So based on the move into this zone now, this is the move into the supply. You have impulse, correction, impulse. Correction, impulse. All right. So you can also see the break here. So looking at this, Personally, I still see price coming all the way up here on GBP NZD, this guy. Based on market structure, I see price still coming into this zone before going down. All right, so we have seen a break. We have seen a small retracement, but this move here is not coming from any supply. So if there'll be a push down, it will not be a strong push down. It might not break the zone. So a move that will break some demand has to be a strong move. So this move, we might see a move that will come all the way here. Once price comes here, we look for sells. All right. So if we know that price should come up, of course, the sellers are active actually. So this move will be a counter trend move, isn't it? And hold on, we are making something. So let's go to the daily chart real quick. On the daily chart, what can we see on the daily chart? So what we can do is to refine this move here. So price has a long way to go here. So in a second, on the daily, let's highlight something. So you have this move. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. You can see it, Abby. So now we are seeing price has broken this area of structure. Price has broken this area of structure here. Okay, and then price broke it. Let's go this on, and then it came back down into the demand. Okay, the demand here over here. Okay, so this can also be a point of interest. All right, so let me remove all of this, and then at that demand zone now, we now to look for possible entry because we have seen a trend violation on daily. So which means that possibly we might find a move. We might find a move into this zone here, possibly. All right. So let's go to a lower time frame, like the 30 minutes. So let's go to the 30 minutes chart. Or let's try 4 hours. So on 4 hours, what do we see on 4 hours? Nothing exactly. Let me go to the 30 minutes. So on 30 minutes, we saw this. So price has taken off actually. Mr. Manuel, I'm trying to look for an entry that will make sense. Hold on. I don't want to rush this setup because I'm on this live call. But let's see something possible move. So let me highlight the trend, the market structure as price entered this demand zone, right? So from here you have the impulse correction, right? Good. And then you have this internal structure here and price came here. So if you have to see this move, we saw the break of structure here. Now you find out that when price broke this structure, okay, we didn't really see a retracement anywhere. Okay, price just kept going up. Let me be absolutely sure. So let me zoom in on this structure here. This was a high. Okay, so price did not break this high. So looking at that, we might say expect, okay, possibly you might say expect price to come all the way down. Don't delete this. So I said the price will come all the way down somewhere here. Into the zone. All right. So if price should come all the way down, let's see if we can find a move down. So let's go to the 4 hours chart real quick. Let me see. So on the 4-hour chart, you can see something like this. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. All right. So we can see that price is in a supply here. Buy to sell candle. So over here, price is in a zone that we can expect to sell. So if this setup is on a 4-hour setup, what we can do is we can go to a lower time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame, and then look for sell setups of 15 minutes. Or if you are somebody that is, you are very aggressive, you can of course take entry at the equilibrium of this zone at the 50%, somewhere here. Let me measure it real quick. Okay. So that is at 1.91539. If you are aggressive, okay, then you put your stop loss, okay, above. So you can use a stop loss of 25 pips stop loss. And then you can take your first partial at 1 to 6, or here at 1 to 8 or 1 to 9. Okay, but I like the confirmation entry. So you go to the lower time frame, and then you want to look for trend changes as well. All right, so this is the setup on 15 minutes. You can see price doing this impulse. You see this small kind of structure here. And we can see price already with this zone. So over here is where you can expect entry for a sell. All right, so this guy is actually ripe for an entry. All right, so you can take entry when market opens sitting session, but of course the spread is going to be high. So what I think price might do is price might get to this place, take out liquidity possibly or not. How do I get here? Take out liquidity, and then it might be a good entry. If you take entry, once you start seeing some rejections, you can take entry here, and then you sell another 124, 124. All right, but price is in a zone generally that it should sell based on market structure. Is that clear, Emmanuel? All right, so I think that is all for tonight. No more setups, right? All right, good. Any more questions? Last question before we call it a wrap. Any more questions? All right. I hope you guys are liking these ones. But as I see setups, I will also post on the premium platform. Directly with indicators. Yes, I use it for confirmations, not as a means to enter trade, just a confirmation. PTC USD. So let's check out that last one. I've analyzed this pair over the break. I don't know if I should do it again. Okay, and I've told you the future of BTC. There's no accurate indicator. There's no accurate indicator. So BTC on the monthly, if it goes to monthly, what do we have on the monthly? So BTC now is at 20,000. Okay, when you look at structure of the market of BTC, impulse, correction, internal structure, impulse, correction, okay, impulse. All right. And then you can see that this was a demand zone. And this demand zone was broken. So we have a structure now, impulse, correction, impulse. So this is telling us that BTC is in an established downtrend. So two possibilities for Bitcoin. It is either, so the next possible zone, because most of us are expecting Bitcoin to form new all-time high. But before price can form a new all-time high, it needs liquidity. If you understand how the market works, there's a lot of money that needs to be pumped into the market for price to reach all-time high. So when will a lot of people enter Bitcoin again? When Bitcoin price is very, very low. Now, that can now let us start looking at the next demand zone. Which zone did people buy Bitcoin the last time? So based on our knowledge of demand and supply, this is a demand zone here. Right? This is another demand zone here. Okay, so before price gets to all-time high, I'm expecting price to get to either 11,000 or 10,000 or even $4,000. So between $4,000 and $11,000, we should expect price to get here. So if price should get here, it will accumulate enough liquidity to now push the market to form an all-time high. So also based on this guy, price might not actually go down immediately. So because of this is also a zone. Because it's an established downtrend, this is a supply zone. Because people need to also sell their coins before price can get to the demand level. So price possibly might rise. I don't know if it might rise up until around 37,000 to 48,000. So if price should get to this zone, a lot of people would want to quickly cash out. So when they cash out, that will now push the price into the demand zone. And when price falls low like this, people would now start buying because they don't want to miss out on the next crypto boom, next Bitcoin boom. So a lot of people will buy this guy, and then that's what will make price form an all-time high. All right, so that's my honest analysis of this guy. Someone is saying, can we look at binary, another training day? What is binary? Do you mean volatility indices, VIX? What is binary, OTP? All right, so guys, anybody want to ask last question? Maybe you want me to unmute you, especially for people that are actively trading. If you are trading on a live account, okay, Mr. Emmanuel, if you are on the Telegram group, please watch the foundation training. Okay, so you learn about the scalping and everything. All right, so take your time. All right, any other question, guys, before I call it a night? Do you draw your supply zone from the week of body? Yes, I draw from the week. I draw from the week. Okay, V75 and co. Well, I don't know if I'll do that. Do you know that V75 boom and crash, they are computer programs. Only Deriv is offering it, and V75 boom and crash, V50, V100, they are not regulated instruments. And that is why you wouldn't see any financial person talking about boom and crash or VIX, because they are not regulated products. Okay, what can you say is moving the VIX market, the VIX 5? What is moving it? What is the major source? How does it move? Is it backed by any fundamental? Most likely no. All right, so if V75, have you thought about the fact that why is it that it is only Deriv that is offering V75? Okay, and Deriv is not the largest broker in the world. Okay, it's because those instruments are not regulated. Okay, and a lot of people are losing money trading VIX. And as much as people will say that VIX has no manipulation, it has a lot more manipulation than even the currency market, because it's a computer program to me. All right. So what currency should we be looking at this week, Mr. Bukola? We've analyzed a few pairs now this night. So the pairs that we checked out this night, you can wait for price to get to those zones, and then you take entry. It's as simple as that. Okay. Mr. Dekole is saying, you said you explained how you catch. Okay, so let me quickly explain. I caught a move on USD JPY last Friday. Hold on. UJ. So I'll just wrap up with this real quick. So it was a move. So we saw this zone on the 4 hours, right? Where is it? So which zone did I use though? I'm not okay, so I think this was it, what I was trying to do. Was it here? Okay. So on 4 hours, we are seeing this move, impulse, correction, impulse. All right. And then there was a trend break. So this was the supply. That's buy to sell candle. You get. So let me rewind this real quick. So let's assume that price was still here. Right. So I was waiting for price to what? Come into this zone, and then I take entry. All right. So this is a 4-hour chart. Let's play forward. So price came into the zone on 4 hours. Hold on. So I go to my 15 minutes chart to look for entry on 15 minutes. So the highest point. So let me play forward. So we look for the trend as well. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. Who asked me a question again? When would you say is the ideal time to consider trading a prop firm? Okay, Mr. Itaten, I'm going to answer the question next. Okay. Good. Let me just skip to Friday. I'm not sure I'm looking at this properly. How I enter the trend. Give me a second, Mr. Peter, Mr. Adekoya, I'll show you now. Friday was August 21, right? Good. So on 15 minutes, Tanya, you guys are asking a question when I'm about to close. All right. So I'm trying to figure out when did I take the entry on Friday? It was Friday night evening that I took entry, so it's still in front. Okay, good. It was, I think, was it here? 15 minutes. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I took entry. On Friday. Friday is 26. So it should be somewhere here. Mr. Emmanuel, please go through the education on the foundation lessons. Okay. I think you have been on the group since early this week. So take your time. You will understand why I call it impulse coaching impulse. Okay. You can also call it higher low, higher high. It's the same thing. That was the labeling. Mr. DME, honestly, I don't know where I entered again on Friday. Maybe I'll do like a personal video recording and then I'll send to you. Okay. Is that okay? Because of time, I don't want to let everybody. So lastly, for Mr. Etaton's question, for people that are trading prop firms, I think you will know when you're ready for prop firm if you are profitable on your own personal account. You know, most people that I know that trade prop firms on their own accounts, they are not profitable. You need to be profitable at least 3 months. Your little $100 or like $500 that you are trading, are you able to grow it consistently over the course of 3 months? And if you're able to grow your account by at least 10% each month for 3 months, then you are ready to start trading prop firm, because it's very easy for you to pay for prop firm, maybe FTMO or my first funds, and then you get access to the challenge and then you start panicking. Now you are panicking because you've not done your due diligence. All right, so I tell people, don't be in a hurry to start rushing for prop firm. Okay, like I always tell you guys, prop firm is a business. They make more money from people losing challenges, because when an average trader loses money for a challenge, they want to subscribe again to win that challenge. That's where they make the most of their money from, even much more than profit split. That is why they can afford to give you 80% profit and then they take 20%, because a lot more people are paying for challenges and then they are failing challenges woefully. All right, so in simple terms, the ideal time to consider trading with a prop firm is if you are a profitable trader. And then most people that go into prop firm challenges are not profitable. You will know if you are profitable if in 3 months you're able to grow your account consistently for 3 months. If you can do that, you are ready. All right, good. So guys, let's wait a night here. You can ask your questions in the Telegram community and I'll do my best to answer you guys. All right. So guys, I wish you all the very best in this new trading week. More money to everybody, more pips, let the market be with you. Thank you so much for coming on this weekly call. I hope you got value, guys. Give me some feedback in the chat box. If you got value tonight, type in value in the chat box. If you learned something new or it was helpful anyway, okay, type in value in the chat box. Let me know, guys. Awesome. Who has got value? All right. Cool. So feel free. I want us to be having the class much fuller than this. The peak that we have in this Zoom session was, I think, almost 40 people, if I'm mistaken. So like, I want this to be like, let's get it to like 100 people in like the next few weeks. It's a free Zoom session, all right, whereby we support those ones. And even though you don't trade smart money concepts, you can use those zones. You can use the zones, add it to your own trading system, and then take entry at those zones, because economics is all about supply and demand, and the first market is based on economics. So when we are able to highlight supply and demand zones, best believe price is going to react at those zones. All right, so spread the word, let people know what we are doing in the community so that they can know how not to keep blowing accounts. All right, so guys, I'll see you in the chat. Good night, everybody. God bless you.